Alright guys, how's it going? It's LazyBeast here, hope you're doing well, and today we've got some exciting stuff from the Shadowlands Alpha, again in this beta then, still Alpha. So we've got two new possible allied races that have been data mined. We've got some vampires and some fauns, which is something a bit different for us there. So what we're going to do is have a little look at them and just pick about what they look like and what kind of models and animations they use, and then I'm basically going to show you the reasons why I think they could be an allied race and the reasons why they couldn't be an allied race. And just have a bit of a discussion on that point, and I want to know what you think in the comments, so let me know. So obviously we can only speculate at this point. It's very, very early on in the game and in the alpha testing, so it's all just a speculation, discussion. So what we'll do, we'll take a closer look and we'll dig in the reasons why they may or may not be allied races. So the first one we've got is the vampires. So we know from the alpha already that the vampires reside in Revendreth, so more than likely they're going to be tied to the Venthyr Covenant. And obviously we don't know how we're going to unlock these yet if they do become allied races, but we'll dig into that again a bit later. So these look pretty cool. They've got a lot of like cloak options and hooded cloaks and things that are a bit different there. We know that they are trying to do different things with the cloaks, as we've seen from the Covenant gear transmog things going on already, looking pretty good. So there's lots of colour schemes. These could literally just be NPC models, you know, just to add into the zone. A bit more flavour there for the zone, but we just don't know. They could also be like, when you make your character for the first time, the base outfit that they get. But yeah, some of the like extravagant costumes could obviously be the heritage armor for these guys, but it's not kind of following the same theme as the old heritage armor for the other races, so again, unsure. But I think if they did make it as an allied race, what they probably would do is get a nice, more flashy something going on with the heritage armor to make them stand out from all the other NPCs, if the NPCs are going to be using these models and cloaks and all that outfits as well. You don't just want to look the same, do you? So these guys actually seem to use a lot of the Zandalari Troll Balance Druid Boomkin form animations, which is weird, took me by surprise. I thought these were going to be using like the Nightfallen animations, because that would kind of make sense. But they seem to be using the Zandalari Troll Boomkin ones, which is weird. If you've ever played one of them, you'll recognise some of these straight away, like the weird run that they've got. The sprint one is terrifying. It proper looks like there's something coming at you. So pretty cool to actually be one of them. But yeah, so like the talking animations are the same, the salute is the same. So that's quite interesting, something a bit different. So we'll go on to the fauns as well next, which didn't see this coming at all. The fauns have some different animations too. So these are obviously tied to the Ardenweald Covenant, which is the Night Fae. And they're pretty decent looking as well, quite unique. You probably notice straight away that, especially the female ones, look exactly like the Draenei, or Draenei, however you guys want to pronounce it. Yeah, so the reaction to these guys coming out has been pretty good. I've seen some people really excited about these potentially being an allied race and like proper hoping that they do come out, so good luck to you guys. Now, the normal animations are pretty, obviously like the Draenei one's pretty standard, and it's normal for allied races to share animations with current existing races or other allied races, as we've seen with like Void Elves and Blood Elves are practically exactly the same, and obviously the High Mountain Tauren and the Taurens are exactly the same. But look at the run animation, they actually run like a bit like a goat or a faun, whatever a faun is. What is a faun? A faun is a baby goat or a baby. But they actually run like hop, like I'm thinking now, like why don't Draenei or Draenei do this? But I guess obviously fauns are the fauns, so there you go. Really cool, again something different, a bit like the vampire run and the faun run. Be nice to have some proper fresh different animations going into Shadowlands. Obviously it's all about customization, it seems so far, that they're doing a lot of work on that, so that's really nice to see. So let's dig into the arguments of for and against, like why would they be allied races and why wouldn't they be allied races. Let's dig into that. So first of all, arguments for them being allied races. So the very detailed models, they use existing racer animations like the Nightfallen did with Night Elves and the Void Elves did with the Blood Elves, as I've just said. So they're pretty much good to go straight away out of the box. Blizzard don't need to do a ton of work on making new animations for this. So perhaps that's why they're already here. The folder they were placed in, found by the data miner guys at Wowhead, is the same folder where other allied race information is for other allied races. So that suggests that these are going to fall into that category. But there was some other things in there, like the Vrykul and what are the guys called, the Tuskar, which people have wanted as allied races for a while. They were all in there. There's no real reason why they would come in Shadowlands either. So that could literally be just to throw us off the scent and make us think, oh no, it must be something else, but again, who knows, it's early on. I did actually speculate in a video a while back that we would get 4 allied races in Shadowlands, 1 tied to each of the covenants, but then that would be a bit, you know, it's quite a lot of allied races to add in to an expansion. I know we got 4 with BFA, but if you're talking like we've got a lot of allied races that already stand, so to add 4 more in would be a hell of a lot. Like, do we really need like nearly 20 different races in a game? It's quite a lot to choose from. Now let's have a look at like a tricky one. So like the lore reasons for why these guys would want to, you know, come and help us out, come and join the Horde or the Alliance or both. So these guys have been in the Shadowlands for God knows how long. We're mere mortals. We've probably been around a lot less than these guys have. So why would they want to come and join the Horde or the Alliance and help us? And why would they be bothered enough about our dealings to come and help us, or side with us or whatever? So if you look at the Fauns first, for example, so these guys, they're in the Night Fae Covenant, they're in Ardenweald. Their job is to kind of look after the dead side of nature, if that makes any sense. I'm not explaining that very well, but they may be interested in coming to the land of the living to help out, you know, with things like the Emerald Dream. So that's possibly something could go on there with a story to kind of explain that. But on that note, I would argue that it would make sense for these to be able to join both factions, because again, why would they be bothered enough to join just one faction? It doesn't make sense. It could be explained because of leaders like Malfurion, or you know, the vampires might want to join the Blood Elves, for example. They might have shared interests going on there. That just kind of makes sense, and we've seen from the introductions of the other allied races that there's always like a leader or a person that brings them in to the faction. There's always somebody that, you know, says, oh, these guys, I know these guys, these will be decent, let's go and help them, and you go with that leader, they guide you off onto the quest to kind of, you know, bring the allied race on side. So that would make sense, but I'm kind of thinking that these guys might be available cross-faction, you know, like Pandara and because that would be interesting. And again, why would they care enough to join just one faction? Why not both? So going back to like lore reasons why they would want to join the Horde or the Alliance, or just us in general as one unit. So we're going there and we're quite, you know, special in the Shadowlands. We're not actually dead, so we can do more than the other denizens of the Shadowlands can do. We can travel from the different areas. We can go in and out of the Moor, which other, you know, souls or spirits or whatever you want to call them in the Shadowlands can't do. So we're going to be able to help them out quite a lot. Obviously there's a problem going on when we first get into the Shadowlands. The jailer's doing some dodgy shit, he's stealing all the anima, things are in a bit of chaos, so we're going to, you know, presumably go in there and fix that problem for them. So they're kind of going to be in our debt. So that could be another reason why they would want to join the Horde or the Alliance, to kind of repay that favour. That makes sense. Another argument for this is that allied races are good from a business perspective for Blizzard. So obviously they're a selling point of an expansion. We saw that with Black Ops Azeroth. They bring people back to the game. If people have, you know, been looking for an allied race for a while and this sparks interest, they might come back to the game, and it keeps existing players playing. So you may want to level another allied race for the heritage armor. So that obviously you're going to put a lot of time into leveling that character, and that in turn means, you know, more money spent on subscriptions because you want to keep on playing. So we'll have a look at some arguments for why these might not be allied races. So we've already got a lot of them, as I mentioned before. There's a lot of allied races already, so why do we need, you know, more? So adding more might end up just being too much. But then again, there is plenty of room on the character selection screen, so there's always the possibility. So this is a big one, right? So unlocking these allied races, let's say they were to come in, so how would you unlock them? You'd expect that you've got to join one covenant per character on your account. So if you wanted to get the vampires unlocked, you would assume that you would have to join the Revendreth Covenant, the Venthyr, and then go all the way through their quest line, unlock all the stuff in there, get like exalted with them or whatever if they're an actual faction, and then you'd be worthy to unlock them. So the problem there is, obviously, if you don't want to join the Venthyr, that would mean you'd never get access to unlocking this allied race, which would be crap, because obviously unless you wanted to level another character, the people that don't play ults, you basically just screwed, you know, if you never want to join the Venthyr or the Night Fae. So unlocking these could be, to kind of counter this, something that's done through the story, you know, rather than just being tied to the Covenants themselves, the Covenant storylines. So that could then be another reason why these guys aren't, you know, just tied to the Covenants, and also why they would be non-faction specific, so they could join either the Horde or the Alliance. We shall see. And then going back to the lore, so yeah, so they would be in our debt, presuming we go in there and sort some problems out for them and help them out and do all sorts for them as, you know, magical living but not dead things in the Shadowlands. We're going to do a lot to help them, I'm guessing, so they want to maybe repay the favour, but then again, would they? They might not give a shit. They might just want to carry on as they are. They might say, no, we're happy here in the Shadowlands, we've had our lives, we've died now, this is our job, we're at the Shadowlands, and they might not want to leave, they might not even be able to leave, who knows. And the kind of final argument about why they might not be able to be allied races is Blizzard might have learned a lot from the controversy that surrounded the Zandalari Trolls and the Kultirans coming into Battle for Azeroth. Basically, if you missed out on that, what happened was they were a massive selling point of Battle for Azeroth, and then they only actually got released to be played probably past halfway through the expansion. So people came back thinking, oh, I want to be a Zandalari Troll, Druid or whatever, it looks really cool. Come back into the game, and then they got to play through literally 2 full patches before they could actually play them, which is a bit naughty on Blizzard's part, really. They kind of kept people hanging on, like carrot on a stick type thing, and it was a bit cheeky, so they might not do things like that again. So if these are going to be allied races, they might come quite early on, you know, maybe before the first big major patch, but again, we'll just have to see. So there we go, guys, a little bit of interesting speculation there. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you reckon these guys will become allied races? Do you want them to? Do you not want them to? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. I've been LaserBeast, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.